Yo. Can you hear me all right? Mortem, Montem even. Good. Alright, let's see.
Masters, get ready! Duel!
Alright, those are some pretty expensive decks. Alright, let me just reboot my brain in my explanation of the game. Alright, this game is mostly way more about controlling the bridges than it is killing the enemy. Because most people will be able to defend pretty much anything that you are able to send at them, so the way to outplay them is not necessarily through just brute forcing their face, but rather through clever control of the board and denying their bridge grabs, killing their units efficiently. To achieve that, usually you want to weigh your mana usage and try to always defend near your master tower in order to let your master tower attack. I should show you some of the pre-made 2v2 I had earlier. Might give a different perspective. But from here, usually in the starting hand like this, I would rather see like I look at the two hands here, and usually I'd like to see about at least 4 cards in your hands that cost only 2 mana, because that's the type of cards you want to use to contest the bridges and get the action started, make the enemy answer them, and then have you answer those in your favor. But right now I see only Scrat Horde and Infiltration that can maybe capture bridges. They're not very good at it. So since you guys do not really have any card that are able to properly capture and fight for bridges, I would suggest you do not start at all and you wait. Up to 10 mana, or if the enemy plays something that you can properly shut down. Well, be careful when you play cards like that, because both of you should be hovering your cards to let each other know what you're about to play. Right here you're using both of the cards that are good, whereas all of your other cards are very bad to start with. So that exposes you to be really shut down early. Exposing yourself like that is not good at all. If you guys really wanted to capture the bridges, then only the Scrat Horde should have been played for now, and not 8 mana's worth of very cheap and fragile units. I consider a bridge grab to be worth 1 mana. Alright. Here's the kind of thing that, see right there, that could happen. Most people use a defensive chopper, although this defensive chopper isn't very well placed, and it was way too late to place that defensive chopper. That defensive chopper will not step on the bridge. It'll stay on their side of the bridge, letting you have the bridge for longer. But here the Scrat Horde and Marine is very easy to handle. A Grenadier and the little 2-cost card in the front would work, an Elite Swarmer would work. If they are a bit patient, a Whirly would clear a lane entirely. And each lane is worth 8 mana right now, because that's how much... sorry, each lane is worth 4 mana, because you paid 8 for this. Oh my god, okay, well the enemy is also not too experienced here. This Divine Warrior is absolute trash. There's no reason for them to defend this far up. These little Scrats are much more easy to handle at the Master Tower here, where Ravager can kill them fast. This costs them 5 mana, and that warrior will take absolutely forever to kill all that, even with the help of Stormbringer there. And she costs 5, and her shield is completely pointless, and yeah, that's just a very shit play on their part. Now, you do realize that she has a taunt, so building haters like Rammer will target units with taunt. That means you could wait a few seconds for her shield to expire and send your Rammer up top and be done with her. I'm thinking you could put a wall here to stop the Defenso Chopper. That would... I'm pretty sure that would save the 2 Marines. Defenso Chopper is... the damage is atrocious on it. So... a wall here on the bottom lane would have saved the 2 Marines. And very slowly gotten you the bridge again, because you don't... Thank you. Hey there, Farah. Because it's super important for you guys to keep the bridges with such insanely expensive decks here. It's not like you can just wait on the Defenso to go through and then pay a 2-cost card to grab it behind it. You have to defend your current assets here, and the wall here would have saved the Marines. And kept you the bridge. So really here Feralusa could have Rammer top, wall bottom, save both bridges. Otherwise, if you decide to not really play, in that case, it's totally fine to wait a while and let your mana regen up to 10. Mana comes in ticks of a single mana unit, so if you're already at 10 mana, the timer of about 2.5 seconds continues to increase, and if you play before the timer expires, then you'll get your mana normally. So you can basically have 10.9 mana in your mana bar at once. Don't feel obligated to play so fast or so much, or just because. Patience is the absolute best strategy you can have in this game. Patience to let the enemies reach your face, patience to let your units attack, patience to let the enemy get impatient and use their spells. After that you can play. Patience to let your mana build up and build up your own push. If you make mistakes and you are struggling, it happens to me too sometimes, albeit very rarely. The very first thing I do is, okay, I step back. If I notice I make a mistake, that's it. I'm just gonna stop playing for a while, wait a bit, maybe wait to 9-10 mana, and then I'll start replaying again. Doubling down on mistakes is one of the worst things you can do in this game. Alright, now Farah already answered this with Divine Warrior. Montem does not have to play 5 more on top of that just to kill a warrior. Look, she's basically worth 3 mana at this point, and you gotta just put 10 mana to kill her and what, capture the bridge. That's paying 7 more to capture a bridge, which is basically 1 mana. Now on their side, they play that Annihilator way too early because his first shot is gonna get denied by the Divine Shield anyway. And the second shot too. Alright, now they're panicking. Look at them. They are fighting so far ahead into the bridge. This game isn't called Minions, it's Minion Masters. You can let your masters attack too. Although Ravager is pretty difficult to make use of. See here, these 2 drone buzzers, they paid 4 mana, but what do they get from it? Just some DPS on your units, pretty shit DPS at that, and they don't end up with the bridge. Plays that don't end up with a bridge are pointless. Only the bridges matter, nothing else. Oh my god, please. Oh, you guys are tearing me apart. What is that Defenso? Alright, here at the bottom lane you had a quote threat on its way. A Defenso Chopper does absolutely abysmal DPS. It's like 18 DPS. Let it through, it's a joke. You can totally tank that. You have 3000 health, and you have a Ravager. Their Defenso will die instantly as soon as he even hits your face for like, what is it, 35 damage? Do you really care about 35 damage, or do you care about 5 mana? Plus a Defenso right there. Defenso is a very specialized unit that should be used in specialized areas, not for generic just, oh, let me stop this. Defenso choppers, let them through. They are not a threat at all. If you don't play into a Defenso chopper, then they are pointless. Let them through. They deal absolutely terrible DPS, and let your Master Tower DPS them. Look at how much health it had. Less than 100. That's nothing. Like, don't think this way. You need to... Do not stress out about units reaching you. It's totally fine. Let them hit your face. You will end up with way more mana and health if you play properly and let the enemy hit your face a little bit than if you spend everything you have just to stop a tiny bit of a fraction of damage on your face. Because this 5 mana here that you wasted on the Defenso Chopper, the enemy can exploit that with their own 5 mana and deal way more than 35 damage to your face. So never do that kind of play to stop a Defenso like that, and don't use your Defensos in such horrible ways. Plus, even worse than that, not only is your Defenso bad, it's super bad because it's gonna get wrecked by the drone buzzers there, giving the drone buzzers even more value. Another thing you shouldn't do is give your enemies value. Don't play into them. Let their units reach your face. Laugh at them. Laugh at how little you are playing into them. All units in the game have a potential to deliver damage. If you don't give those units any target, then they are wasting their potential damage. It's not about you gaining value, it's also about denying the enemy value. If you're playing into the enemy and giving them value, that's working against you. Oh, slow down. Let them reach your face. See, you saw those drone buzzers on your Defenso, you're like, oh fuck, that's annoying. Thing you should do when that happens is be patient. Reassess the situation. Don't go spending 2, 6, 5, 7 mana all at once just because you're annoyed and you spot a problem. When you spot a problem, you should wait. What's going on here? Alright, these drone buzzers. Alright, let's just wait until they hit our face, then we can use a succubus to kill them. We don't need a wall, and the succubus was played too early. Too early because the Defenso will run out of range before the succubus is done killing them, and the drone buzzers will target the succubus, and health on the minion is far more important than health on your Master Tower. This isn't Clash Royale. Alright, now, both of you are absolutely starving for mana. Right here, what would be nice is like, I don't know, a little Scrat Horde in the middle, maybe send one bottom to slow down the buggies and the rest here to help the succubus. When you send a minion, that's not just a one-time use thing. Look at how long they last if you make them live. If you just send units that are gonna die on your side of the arena, it's just gonna suck. I mean, the gameplay experience is gonna suck. If you're sending units and they end up dying, you're not achieving their true potential. Let the enemies get closer to your face. Let the enemies hit your face. Then place your defense. Then as your defense slowly advances, the enemy will also have like some sort of front line or DPS or range DPS on their way. That's when you can do the second phase of a defense, which is to, while your mana has recharged, you can now add some more units in front of your existing units to help out, traverse the bridge, and with that push, that's how you build up some correct presence on the field that you can slowly support with your trickle of mana with cheap cards. You guys have much too expensive cards. Right here. An elite swarmer here would be perfect. Or a curse bearer right on top of this guy. That will save the succubus. Range DPS are very... their health is very... What is it? What's the word? I don't want to say important, but sure. It's valuable, yeah. You've got range DPS that are threatening and valuable to keep alive, and you've got shitty little tanks that are just there for sponging up damage and capping bridges. Oh, succubus, why? Alright, now those Krathors are okay. They're not great because they'll just run ahead and die. You should rather play something behind the Brutus if you absolutely want to make the Brutus do something. But also, as a general gameplay, you guys are literally playing Ravager, so you need to have a plan for Ravager. By the way, I don't recommend playing Ravager at all, because you'll never make use of his Master Tower attack, and you'll barely ever make use of his perk 1 and 3. I suggest other masters. But since you are playing Ravager, you want to make the most out of Brutus. He's just a health sponge. By the way, the way to counter Brutus is to completely ignore him. He does 20 DPS. That's as much as a defenso chopper. You can concede to the enemy the presence of a Brutus because they are playing Ravager, which means they are not getting any other perk 1 than that throughout the entire match. So it's totally fine when you're fighting against Ravager to concede some damage on your face. Like, and that Brutus is gonna do like 200, 300 face damage. That's it. That's all he gets from his perk 1. Whereas things like Apep, which is currently overpowered, will get way more out of his perk 1 throughout the game. Sorry, let me read you guys' chat because I've just been ranting. Oh my god, dude, I really wish I would have like gathered all of the reviews that I've done and into a playlist or something. Ah, god damn it. Stormbringer and Apep, I would say. Although Apep is a bit strange to play. Mellowin's decent also. Very noob friendly. Valorian also, he's got good removal. Alright, now that's just all gonna die to the buggy. Buggy will die to the scratch. No. What the fuck? Oh my god, they are paying 10 mana for that. Alright. Luckily Volko locked onto that. Something that would be great here to play is Swarmers. 2 mana, they would spawn here and then they would turn around and go demolish Ravager. I mean Brutus. Cleaver, not great. Pretty useless. Like, you guys are seeing this, it's like, nah, that's not a threat at all. This would die to 2 mana, by the way. Now, you're like, oh no, let's go play a Rammer. 2-0 mana. Don't play so much 2-0 mana, by the way. Mana isn't there to be spent immediately. You can stock it up a bit. You should only play it when you need to. If you hold the bridges and there's no immediate threat, then all you gotta do is save. And then as soon as the enemy plays something, you figure out how to counter it for about as much mana as that is worth. And then you sit on your laurels again until the enemy does something else. This is a PvP game, not a PvE game. You are not doing your own thing, just chilling. You are fighting the enemy. It's about gaining more value than the enemy is getting, not about just doing your thing. By the way, cleavers on your side should mostly get at least 2 kills on your side before they leave, so that was okay for that cleaver. Because they are so fast that you want to allow yourself to regain mana to be able to support it once it is out of your reach. This is your part of the arena. Everything here is under your control and you're not threatened at all by them. This is the enemy side of the arena. Things there are very far out of your grasp. Hurry the fuck up, use your burn the bridge. What is this? Look, there's an annihilator. Kill it! Thank you. It's late though. Annihilator without dies. Okay. That incubus was 6 mana. That was okay. The rammer got a few hits, but it's gonna die to a cleaver. Or not. Not sure. Alright, chill out. That 2 mana was fine, but you could have played it a bit closer to the bridge, get it sooner, but that's totally fine because you're letting your Master Tower attack a bit more. Oh, that's not a I thought it was a wrecked walker, but that's an aimbot. That's a waste. Aimbot is one of your most valuable units. Aimbot is extremely strong when you allow him to DPS down a lot of unit and support some other tank in the front. Using a 2-0 mana like this, you're using up all of your thing and you're leaving it on its own to be very easily countered for less than 5 mana plus 60 tech. I hope top wins. Yeah, okay. Oh my god, chill out with the cleavers. You know how easy it is to counter cleavers? It's literally the most polarized card in the game. So extremely easy to counter. You guys do not have the spells to support a cleaver on the other side. The enemy could pay 3 mana for a Jolo, 3 mana for a Scrat Horde, 3 mana for Unholy Ground, 2 mana... maybe with 2 mana it might be hard. But yeah, easily countered with 3 mana. So you're literally giving the enemy 3 mana just because you feel like it. Too bad the enemy's dumb. The enemy should have played their Divine Warrior here by their Master Tower to allow their Ravager to attack. And why the fuck do they have so many goddamn Annihilators? And why did you put drone gnats on your aimbot? Oh, I see. Well, that Annihilator is gonna just break everything but die. That Annihilator was shit, by the way. Oh my god. Oh my god. That spell was awful. Spells should almost never be used defensively. By the way, I don't see you guys having any spell except for Beam and Infiltration, not a spell. Spells should almost never be used defensively anymore, ever since like 2 years ago. Because spells are pretty damn expensive, and they are units, enemy units that are in your own arena can much more easily be handled with minions and your Master Tower, not with spells. Spells should be used while your minions are breaching the enemy on the other side, because spells don't have much travel time unlike minions, so they can answer stuff much more quickly. Spells are support or denial or removal tools. Also, they almost gave you guys an attack reset here. Cleaver has a very short attack delay. That's the time it takes when it locks on a unit to deliver its attack, but it has a very long attack cooldown afterwards. By stunning a cleaver like that, you are resetting his attack animation, which means that your cleaver could have attacked once, get stunned, and then attack again within 2 seconds instead of within 5. Alright, you guys got that tower going. The Scrat Launcher is a decent card, but you need to have actual units on the board. Otherwise, what would the enemy do here? I don't know, put a sniper there, put a grenadier here, put a vulture, demolish it, and re-establish presence. Oh, nice Shen, yeah, amazing. That Shen is totally gonna kill that. Alright, Divine Warrior will save the Scrat Launcher from the rammer here, because she has a taunt and a shield. She will take a beating from the rammer. She might even die from it. By the way, something somewhat advanced that the developers think is too advanced and they're gonna probably remove from the game is when you have a unit trespassing on your bridge like this. Oh well, now he's rooted. Say the rammer has just crossed the bridge. You can play a unit which has lower or equal weight and put them straight on the bridge. Your unit will get shoved onto the bridge instantly instead of having to wait the 1 second summoning sickness and or having to fight and get on the bridge. Alright, descend Bara because Bara roots, therefore get the Shen away. But that Shen could have died to a Scrat Horde instead of a 7-cost Bara. That's fine of a Scrat Horde, but usually I would recommend pretty much always as a good habit to have to always try to split those Horde type cards. At least send one Scrat bottom lane just to help the Bara. That Shen will take 4 seconds to skill a single Scrat, and that one Scrat will contest the bridge, denying the enemy experience. So split your Horde cards. You can send one Scrat bottom, the rest up top. I think it's very funny how your Scrats aren't picking up the Ember because the Rammer's right there and the Scrats are too tiny to grab it. Oh no. See, that one Scrat you didn't send bottom could have saved you from spending 5 mana just to panic help the Bara there. No, stop slowing them down. Oh yeah, this is something that in random 2v2s, or even premates sometimes when I don't have satisfactory friends. Don't slow down the enemy. Don't slow down the enemy. Let them come. I say that like 70 times per stream when I play randoms. Let them come. Let them reach your face. Do not slow down enemies. You're only delaying you being annoyed later at the cost of your own mana and sanity. Don't play your walls there. Let them come. See, what was that? What's that wall doing? It's just slowing down the enemy. It's gonna die. The enemy's still gonna be there. Nothing's gonna kill the enemy during that time. You're not gonna have some divine intervention killing those units because you put a wall there. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm a bit excessive. Oh boy, here come the 10 cost cards to kill a Defenso. By the way, that Defenso you could have just totally ignored it and capped behind it. 4, 5 infiltration in the center here. After Defenso is on your face, put infiltration in the center. They'll kill the drone buzzer and kill the Defenso and then go top and bottom. That's only 5 mana instead of paying the wall, the infiltration and the Prowler for 12 mana. Make sure you split your Horde type cards. Infiltration is a Horde type card. Split them top and bottom. I don't know what the hell the enemy were doing, but whatever. It really is painful to see 8 gray cards. At high levels, pretty much both teams always hover around like 4 to 8 mana throughout the entire match, because it's not about the mana, it's about the placement of the units and all that. Oh my god. Look at that, look at your Succubus. She's already literally fucking dead just to kill 2 buzzers that are worth less than she costs, and the buzzers she didn't even secure a bridge. So that Succubus, you paid 5 to kill 4 and not get a bridge, which would have been 1, and she's already dead. So her presence here on the board is over. Boop, dead. Don't slow them down, let that Annihilator reach your face. Look, you have 2500 still to work with. The amount of health that you save by slowing down the enemy is... Sure, it might look good now that you're saving health, but in the long run you are absolutely not doing yourself any favor by slowing down the enemy and not letting your Master Tower attack. Alright, burn the bridge, top or bottom? Bottom is more easily dealt with. Top has that shield, which is annoying, and true Gnats, they have as much health. You should burn top. Don't be afraid of an Annihilator, they're very weak. Good job, and catching the buggy with that. I don't know why they play the buggy, it's pretty bad. Oh wow, how did you save enough mana to have for a Mardred? Alright, lesson on big units. Ow. Big units should most of the times most of the time. Wait, I'm thinking like big units. I'd say 7 to 10 mana, but also kind of 6, maybe even 5. That depends on the state of the board. But like a 5-cost Scrat tank can be a big unit if everyone is currently saving their mana and you're waiting. Anyway, big units, play them in the back, unless it's crucial that you play them a bit further up. You gain much more value out of them by playing it in your pocket, which are the very back at the next to your master tower. The reasons are the value of big units comes from their presence, not necessarily only their damage. Having a big unit down a lane means that the enemy is heavily discouraged or even denied from playing in that lane altogether. That gives you proxy control of that entire lane because you have a big unit in that lane. So the further back it is, the longer you have it on the field, giving you control for a longer period of time, which means more XP. XP is what is important. Now, the other reason is, by placing it further back, you allow yourself more time to generate more mana to help it with whatever you must once it faces any trouble at the bridge or later. That can be a ghost, it can be, I don't know, I'm not thinking about the correct examples at the moment, but imagine you play your Madred at the bridge and the enemy plays a Haunting Hugger instantly, and you don't have the 2 mana sorry, you don't even have like your 4 mana to kill the Haunting Hugger. Boom, the Haunting Hugger curses your Madred and it's dead. So the enemy just paid 2 mana to kill your 10 mana. These kind of situations can be entirely avoided if you're careful with your usage of big units. Play them at the very back. It's a sort of delayed value that you get from that. That's a very common theme. Ugh. You don't need to set up your cute little DPS at the back, tank at the front thing. It can stay in your brain. If you don't have 10 mana, you don't need to play anything. Look at that, the enemy could play a beam now. Wouldn't you have preferred to wait? To have waited if the enemy plays a beam right now when you still have your 5 mana in your hand? And your aimbot in your hand? You had 6 mana, you didn't need to place him there. There was nothing for the aimbot to shoot at. There was no reason to play that aimbot. The enemy didn't have anything there. You're just setting it up. Oh yeah, let's put the DPS at the back. No! This isn't a PvE RPG game. You're playing against the enemy, so you have to outsmart them. So wait until they play something. Wait until on their side they're like, haha, I will put a curse bearer to slowly kill the Madred, and then you're like, no, fuck you, I'm placing an aimbot to kill you fast. Because right now, the enemy's not gonna expose themselves. If you expose yourself like this, then you're telling the enemy, hey, don't do that, don't do this, don't approach us this way. But anyway, they're stupid because they just, oh my god. They play fucking Stixie. Alright, well, this is a very good use of a Rocket Scrap. You have very strong presence on the board. You have huge unit with support down the lane. By the way, oh my god, stop playing your monitor gnats on a gnat like it's the best thing ever. All of that aimbot would die to a single impetus blast, which is 2 mana. That would kill all of your... What is it? 8 mana and 60 tech. I'd kill that for 2 mana. That's a not too bad of a defense, by the way, on their side. Like, their succubus is pretty damn strong, and the defense to slow down the Mardred is okay. But they had to deal with this aimbot first, with a spell. I love the army of gnats. Aww. I don't think the gnats even shot anything. Damn, poor barrel on barrel action here. Alright, good job. Sorry for being a bit intense. I mean you no harm. I'm being excessive. on purpose. Or else how am I gonna stay sane? Alright, you wanna watch some real gameplay? Just kidding. You wanna watch some high level gameplay?
Masters of minions and minions of masters, prepare to duel!
Alright. These are some of the best players on that side and on our side too. Fault and I are playing double rock rivals, and so that's why we have a curse bearer to deal with the statue that it spawned. You see how many cheap cards we have here? Okay, well, we might not play in the way that I would tell you to play in this match because we both know how the enemy is playing. The enemy has 10 or 11 2-cost cards among their 20 cards, so half of their cards are 2-cost cards, which are all very strong to contest bridges with. Now, I'm gonna talk about this game in a more objective. This is just a match game and not this is a fucking insanely stressful game with the stakes being incredibly high. Any mistake costing us everything, all of the efforts we've put, having to be constantly on edge, being just enough patient here, not waiting too long, baiting here, this and there, putting that perfectly well to counter that. Anyway, first thing we do is watch our hands, look at our hands. We do have some decent cards. I'm the one on the left, by the way, me on the left. I don't really have any good card to start with. Vulture is a special T-Air DPS support unit, so it doesn't capture a bridge. Impetus is a spell. It can deny the bridges if it kills units in the center, but it doesn't cap bridges. Rocket Scrat I would not really use on its own because it's countered by some other easily placed 2-cost cards like Elite Swarmer, maybe 3-cost Jolo, pretty easy to kill it. Blastmancer is also a specialized card which is there to push enemies back, to start a pushback. Now, Fault on his side, he's got a couple of decent cards that you could play first if you want, but here in this case absolutely nobody wants to play first because whomsoever goes first gets instantly countered by the enemy. But normally in a random match, I could start with a stint in one lane just to get the action started, force the enemy to play, maybe get 1 XP or 2, and then I can counter that, and then they try something and I counter that again. Grenadier is also a decent card to just throw away at the start, but it's kinda lame not to let it achieve its potential of killing stuff.
Come to me, minions!
So right now the enemy, they are doing that thing where all good players fear other good players, so nobody wants to go first, but they should realize that on our side we are way more lacking on the bridge control, bridge grabbing and bridge fighting department, so on their side they should probably realize that, and they should know that they have the advantage of much stronger bridge grabs, and they should play first. They should split a unit down the 2 bridges for 2 mana or 3 mana and get it started, because that is entirely in their favor to do that. And they should not wait to 10 mana because that's what we want. Oh, see, Fault starts with a 1, which is very lucky because at the very same time the enemy decided to do what I just said, which is to realize that they have way better bridge control and split a unit down the center. Swarmers are one of the best 2-cost cards. But at the same time, Fault decided to just also get the action started. Put a stint. Luckily the stint... Alright, so... both teams right now are just eyeing the board, looking at which... because everyone knows what 2-cost card kills other 2-cost cards. They know that the stint will kill that Swarmer up top and keep the bridge. They don't need to wait for the stint to do that and then move up to their face and then they play it. No, they know that stint kills a Swarmer, so Elite Swarmer kills a stint. Boom, stayed on the bridge. They are insanely relentless on their 2-cost cards on the bridge, which eventually cost them the game because they double played way too often during this match. So right there you see an Elite Swarmer kills a stint. I don't know But both of them played Elite Swarmer. That's what I mean by double play. They only needed to play one. One card for 2 cost would have done the same thing, but here they both played because they weren't hovering, and whoever played the Swarmers here should not have played because that person was a bit behind in mana compared to his teammate. So it's the person that didn't play the 2 Swarmers who should have been patient. So here we have the Grenadier. Folt was probably looking at my card. He probably expected me to play a Rocket Scrat. That's why Folt waited so damn long to play the Grenadier. Because otherwise, you know, Grenadier kills 2 Swarmers, so he played the Grenadier. Or maybe he... I don't know. But then the enemy sees that. They're not gonna wait, and they're just gonna put something here on the bridge to instantly stop the Grenadier before the Grenadier even steps on the bridge. But once again, they double play. They should hover and tell each other, communicate with each other here. Meanwhile, they have double played twice and kept the bridges, and we didn't spend that much. So on my side, I waited till the Elite Swarmers were through and I played my own 2-cost card just to get things going because I was at 10 mana, as you can see. I paid 2 and it put me back at 8.5. And then Folt can play Elite Swarm bottom. Maybe he was expecting me to play with Whirly, but yeah, he could easily play Elite here at the bottom. A bit late there, you see that XP tick, that should have been denied. But then, annoying split push here. I think they played that almost to 0 mana, but you know that we can't really fight. I'm at 10, but none of my things are valuable on the board at the moment, so I'll play a Wordy in the back. Exactly. Then I played my 1-cost card to cycle, get it out. That wasn't good, by the way. This beginning of the game was not good. Not very good on my part. So Folt sees this and he needs to remediate the situation because this isn't really gonna win, and it's certainly not gonna win in a quick enough time that is good for us, because that word is just gonna take his sweet time, old lady. I've got all day to kill that lady there. So he needs to play Swarmer at the back to back cap the bridge and have the Swarmers help DPS the Zealot. Although I think since they just got a proc here... Oh, well, okay, he played these Swarmers to protect the jungle Mushy here. Alright, well, now the enemy sees that, so they play instantly a 2-cost card that kills that and still on the bridge. Here I think I'll play Jade Flingers in the center, because now Folt has pretty much run out of units to fight the bridges with. Oh, or this. Okay, well, Folt and I hover our cards, so we know what they're gonna do. So I played my Jungle Fenrir here just as a... I gotta play something. I don't really want them to have both bottom bridge while we do nothing and wait for the Rock Rivals to do something. And I played my Flingers first so that a mushroom would spawn sooner. Now, see how the enemy is defending. They waited until the vulture targeted the statue, then they played their own range unit to kill this, which will also kill the Whirly here, and they also are playing a medium cost melee unit at the bottom to step on the bridge and kill this unit easily. Unfortunately for them, they didn't place this Curse Bearer properly, or they played it too late. Because you see, the bridge is still ours while it's attacking. They should have played their Curse Bearer at the very bottom here in the corner so that he has a diagonal, longer approach to the monkey, which is a higher chance for it to actually step on the bridge and contest it. Also, other thing, they could have used that Curse Bearer up top to the DPS down the golem with, especially since they knew that we had 2 golems. And that's why I pinged the... No, that's not. The Folt pinged Curse Bearer good up there, down there, because you'd expect them to play a Curse Bearer against our big healthy unit there. Now, lots of things just happened here. I placed the... or Folt placed the stint just... That's... No, I think I placed the stint there, because I just got perk 1, and as APEP, your perk 1, you wanna use it as soon as possible. It used to be you wanted to play it first, but they changed it in this very patch, which made APEP extremely strong, especially in 2v2s, where you get your free card 25 seconds after you've played your free card. So I quickly played the stint and the free card just to get it out and get a new one. And of course, stint is I'm not commenting a lot by playing a stint there. It's just, that is Rock Rivals. That's a blue golem, and that is a statue. That's Rock Rivals, which spawns a statue on their side every time you play it. That just got changed this very patch. That's why we're exploiting it. Anyway, me playing stint there was not any... Like, I wasn't exposing myself like if I had played a Succubus, a Fire Imp, something that's 4 or 5 mana. I'm not exposing myself because the enemy aren't gonna pay... They aren't gonna be encouraged to cast a huge spell there just because I played a 2-cost card stint. Whereas they would be highly encouraged to kill it if I had played a 4 or 5-cost card thing. Yeah, so that's that. At the same time, they place their Taunt Trap here to slow down the rate at which our golem will kill their statue. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we can't really do anything about this Curse Bearer. I don't want to play my Rock Rivals into it because Curse counters big units. The Jolo isn't great either because the Curse also strips away his avoidance, and Jolo would take a while to kill that Curse Bearer, and the enemy would just have also 3 mana or 2 mana to kill that Jolo with. So right now, the best thing we gotta do is just wait. I played my own Rock Rivals here on top of it because of that very fact. We had nothing to do on the board, and there was no reason in waiting. That would have just granted the enemy a bit more value, so I'm just going in. Now, they beam that because that's insanely good beam value, but Fault uses Black Hole under the beam. Here Fault uses Burn the Bridge. This deals some decent damage to the statue, but I don't think that's really necessary. But oh, never mind, there's 2 statues. I played 2 Ghost Card at the bottom. They don't have anything that easily kills a Rocket Scrat? No, they should have played an Elite Swarmer here. An Elite Swarmer would take 100 damage and then kill it. But see, that's the XP ticks. That's what we're looking for. They waited for it to die. And then here, they double played again. Those are 2 packs of Tantrum Throwers, which each cost 2. So they paid 4 mana, but they could have just paid 2 mana. That's on them, that's their fault. So I play a Whirly, that's 4 mana, and it kills those. Now they play 4 mana to keep the bridge and save their assets, and build up their Arcane Barrage stacks. Those are the kinds of exchange you see. They are patient, then they capture, then I do something to counter them, and then they do something to counter me. And then they are down mana, but they are up bridge control. Now, once again, they double played. Maybe not, maybe not, because what they were doing here is they were waiting for the golems to be a bit further closer to their face, and they played their swarm type cards behind it to both capture the bridge and turn around. Which is countered by a Grenadier. That's an annoying trap. Very lucky for me to, for me to have caught them. Luckily, I get a Swarmer going bottom. Otherwise, Fault would have had to pay 2 mana of his own to go bottom. He used his bats to support. See that? They play the Grenadier. We instantly play an Elite Swarmer. There's no reason to wait. And then what the other enemy do, you can either counter it or not at all. I don't know why I played my Jade Fingers here. I didn't really need to, and it was 2-0 mana. The fight, our golem was expended, and the fight was heavily in their side now. Okay, well, I don't think I'll be commentating this entire game because it's like 9 minutes, but let me know if you guys want to see more. Huh, that's one of my favorite usage of Impetus Blast. Alright, Impetus Blast is pretty much my favorite card of the game, and it's one of the best cards in the game, but nobody plays it because it's far too hard to play correctly. Just kidding, it's not that hard. But, look here. Our stint kills their stints. That's a given, sure. But this curse bearer kills our stint and then captures the bridge. However, by using Impetus Blast to blast the curse bearer towards us, it ensures that our stint is the one to stay on the bridge. So I have paid 2 mana to conserve a bridge. That's good. Because denying a bridge is worth 1, capping the bridge is worth 1. And finding use out of a spell is also important. Watch this. Boop. Impetus. Now they are forced to play. Anyway. Impetus is great. Oh, here. That's a good lesson for you too. Look at how they handle these golems. Well, I don't know, I think Fold does a pretty strange black hole here, which allowed the enemy to do something, but look at how the enemy is handling this. This is insanely threatening. They got Rage and Giant Growth, so they deal like something like 300 DPS together, or even more, like 400. So how do they handle this? Okay, well, first of all, that black hole was not good. That's pretty much the only bad black hole that he's done. I think the reason he played black hole there was to make the enemy approach us, but here's how they do it. They place some ranged DPS in the other lane to make sure that that doesn't get targeted during the fight. At the same time, they place a Horde type card behind them to both capture the bridge, and then they will turn around to tank for the golem. Or tank the golems. They place their totem in front because that's their free APEP card. Meanwhile, they have a lot of units there, DPSing them down. So that's an invitation for me to use a spell. And also this Grenadier was there to kill the Skeleton Horde. Alright, well now they got 2 golems, but they're using one armored Scrat to tank one. They're still spending not too much mana. See, this is 1 mana, this is 2 mana to finish it off. That's what it takes though to slow down big threats like that. You gotta fight them close to your face, and it's very important to also touch the bridge at the back, pull the enemies back, it's a possibility. That impetus was to kill XP there. Love Blast Master. Alright, cool. See again how many damn units they have to kill the golems with. This is the kind of situation where Blastmancer shines here. We're about to start pushing back a big old wave of enemies, so that Blastmancer will help a ton. See how we do have mana? Bolt still has a ton of mana to help that. This is very funny because both of us use Stin's special ability to capture the furthest bridge, and then the enemy also recaps it with 2 Stins. Both teams double played here. Such a good boy. Ah, we spent so much mana here trying to kill this Ruffles to get the 4 XP bounty, because XP at this point is so damn important. And he still gets it. And then they get Mana Frenzy. Luckily Fold gets a very good the Black Hole there. Alright, we are like 6 XP behind. Mana Frenzy is pretty much a guaranteed win to almost whoever gets it first, but by denying the bridges as much as we can until we get Mana Frenzy, we get it ourselves. And also, I tried to play my most important cards here. They had just played Arcane Barrage. Alright. Listen well to this. I will say something more important than just observation about the gameplay. Something very important to do as an overarching principle of the game. This game is all about its PvP, its counters. You need to notice patterns in your enemy's play style. If you play something and the enemy counters that extremely well with another thing, then you should you should remember that and try to never repeat this very situation. You should not play your first thing if you know that the enemy has their thing to counter it with. So right here, the enemy just played Arcane Barrage, which was their best way to kill my Blastmancer, which is a very important unit that I want to get out on the board. So I feel comfortable using my Blastmancer right after they've used their Arcane Barrage. But that is true for almost any play in the game. Don't expose yourself to a counter if you know that that counter exists. So now during Frenzy we want to get the bridges and keep our assets alive, especially the Blastmancer, the most important unit we have here. I played the Blastmancer too far up, now he's a bit vulnerable. Now they play the Arcane Barrage again, but I'll have my Mancer soon again. Oh, they even played Beam, so I can play my Mancer even more. That was an excellent fucking taunt trap. Holy shit, that gun has to walk all the way around. But like, yeah, at this point it's pretty much won in our favor. We hold the bridges and we have a ton of units on the board. So what I do right now is mostly play my most important card, which is the Blastmancer for Mana Frenzy, and I cycle with my cheapest cards. Missed the Mancer there. I love the simulacrum noise. It seems like both APEP have gotten simulacrum. So there's a bug that adds it to the...
I don't think Red can keep this up.
Alright, cool. Are you guys even still there? Cool. Let's make you decks that aren't too shit. Oh my god, all my deck looks are full for like 3 seasons. I need to do a spring cleaning, the winter cleaning. Alright, hold on. Before you go, let's make you decent decks. Alright, pre-made decks. Where is my... No, just kidding, not like I have that. Alright, pre-made decks. There's a lot of key elements that I tried to include in all of my 2v2 decks for the 2 players. So let's see, things that I suggest to bring that are very useful to have. You might want a very heavy 6 to 10 cost power unit that you can build push off of. You usually spawn that at the back. You can bring 1 or 2, and by the way, Rock Rivals is now counted in that. You want some AoE, Grenadier, Whirly, Arcanist, although she is very fragile. Blastmancer. Blastmancer is a more specialized card that I see a lot of people throw away because they will see like 2 swarmers coming and they're like, oh shit, that's more than 1 unit, let me pull out the Blastmancer. No. You want some heavy, I call them like cataclysmic spells. Such as Magma Storm, Beam, Mountain Shaper. Maybe a medium spell? Bear Avalanche. Barrage. What else? Chain Lightning, but that one's a bit harder. Fireball. You want to have at least, those are like, you want to have at least one small spell. Those are the 2 cost spells like Impetus, Shock Rock, Snap Freeze. Then you want some defense, so that can be Apep as a master, can be Diona as a master for healing, Heal Puff, you can have Wall. You can have then some specialized cards. You got some like you'd like some high DPS cards. I don't know, Scott, Assassin, Fire Imp, Brothers of the Void, Swarmers when used well. Okay, what else? Oh, Shen is a pretty good one too. Things that are good to bring, let's see. Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. Some like special, like annoying kind of the like bounty sniper, Zapinator, Cokes, although I wouldn't recommend using Cokes at the moment in an empty deck like that. Those are the kind of things that spice up the arena, force the enemy to answer them. It provides you with a like a node to build your more generic cards around. Then you then for like to like approach the deck building in a more faction oriented vision, because I build most of my decks in very generic ways here where I pick and choose what I want to bring, but there are some very strong faction synergies that you can exploit, not exploit, but you can make use of more or less. You can have like 2 or 3 styled heart, or you can have 7 Outlander cards. You can have Outlanders for tech. You can have a Zenshi for shrooms. Like we did here. I had a Shroom Puff and a Jade Fingers for our golems. There's not that much like other direct, obvious faction synergies than these two, but like Stout Heart, you bring Caber Tosser and something else. Voidborn, it's way more specialized in that your whole deck will probably be Voidborn. Same with Scrats. I think that covers it pretty much, kinda. No, aimbot is not a power unit. Aimbot is a expensive range DPS. It's kind of annoying to approach, especially in 1v1. In 2v2 it's a more generic kind of range DPS, which often have about 150 to 200 health and are dangerous to approach, but they're key targets and you feel good about using a spell on it. So for you, Mr. Volko, Nether bats are they're good. They're annoying. They won't get you bridges though. Man, Impetus would be so good here, because as Volko, you're a cycle master. You don't really want to be the one to have a expensive card. You want to be the one to hold the specialty cards, but not the expensive card. You should play Impetus. It's one of the best. Oh, Vulture, obviously. Vulture is one of the best Outlander. Volko is a cycle master, which means you benefit more from his perk by cycling fast, which means paying less mana per card. However, I'd probably have you bring up the power card. When I look at the deck like this, I think of 4 cards that could be in the hand that would be the most problematic situation here. Like imagine having Impetus, Nether Blast, Vulture, and Aimbot. You would not have much to do. I feel like Well, you like the aimbot, so we'll keep it. What if? All right. Here's something that you might enjoy. Should I? Blue Golem's a bit much. No, Blue Golem teaches a lot. I wouldn't have you play Rock Rivals because it's brutal. You could play Rock Rivals, but Blue Golem is also very solid, especially when paired with Jade Flingers. Actually, why not a Mushroom Puff, help you cycle and get mushrooms out. Anyway, I'm not giving you decks that you have to stick to, but general guidelines, of course. You think there was enough tech without the Drone Walker? Right, well, that's mostly the idea here. Whenever you find an opening, you can slip in a Shroom Puff somewhere, and if you get a Shroom on a lane, that encourages you a lot to play a Blue Golem in that lane. Help your Blue Golem out with your cheap support units like Grenadier and Vulture. But of course, remember to only play your support units after the enemy has placed their answer to your Blue Golem. As for an help with this, right, so that's only half of the deck, right? The other deck, save this one because I'm about to delete it. The other deck, let's see. With Volko, I would recommend. How about? I'm trying to remember how you guys played. Maybe there are cards that you liked. Your Swarmers for split grabbing. You couldn't try out Apep because he has a very strong built-in defense in his totem. When you see that the enemy is about to deliver damage to your face with some threatening units, you don't need to defend using units, you can use your totem at perk 2. Do you guys have Bear Avalanche on this other account? That's a medium cost spell, a bit stronger. Currently it's pretty damn strong. Whirly is a good generic card that is very useful often. Maybe Empyrean Army might be good for you guys, although it's a very, very boring archetype. This one could bring a Bounty Sniper. So here we have, so far we have one specialty, well, it's medium cost spell. When you use this spell, you want to make sure to hit several units, make sure you hit a lot of like small cost units or medium units, just to DPS them down. After the games you can look at their health and see if 160 damage is enough to kill it. Swarmers here, these are good to split down the lane or to DPS down when something else is tanking. I need some... Wordy's amazing. Oh, by the way, yeah, I totally glossed over that, but the Slither faction, amazing and fun faction, but they have been nerfed several times recently, so now they are a bit more of a cheese faction than a control faction. But Stun Lancers are great. Now we don't even feel obligated to play them since they don't have Slither Bind. Rocket Scrat is kind of weird, but it really helps when there's a slight pack of enemies. You can have a Rocket Scrat really help out. You don't really need to think too much about it, at least from like what I've seen. It's way, as I said in the Discord, it's way more about gameplay than it is about cards. Be patient, let the enemies hit your face, then kill them. If they are a real threat, like a Mardred for example, think about it a little bit. You need your Curse Bearer for this, and a tank for the Curse Bearer, so figure it out with what you have. You get a Curse Bearer, you can have Stun Lancers, are pretty good. There isn't that much use for a lot of range units anymore since air units aren't that much played, but this one could use more. Tank. I think a Scrat tank is fine. Then I'll give you some lower cost. I used to always bring Vulture and Stint as my anti-air for everything, or range DPS for everything. I'm gonna do it now too. There we go. This could be a suggestion for another deck. Although you are lacking in the big spell category, if you find you guys getting killed by death balls, which is like the enemy stacking up a lot of units, well, you guys have Bear Avalanche and Burn the Bridge to deal with death balls, so that's pretty good. Now really, it's about taking care of your units. Don't let your units die. Defend your sniper. Make sure you support your Stun Lancers properly. And let your Master Tower attack. It's more about that than the actual cards themselves. Phew, there we go. Well, an hour and 20 minutes of volunteering. You're welcome. I wouldn't mind watching you guys play. If you guys want to play a game and we can review it quickly afterwards, send me a friend request. Where's my thing? It's in my Discord bio. Damn it, come on, why is it so hard? Rack attack. Oh my god, my throat. I haven't talked for this long in a while. love being excessively exasperated when I review gameplay. Oops. I need to change this. Man, tantrum throwers are currently broken, like literally bugged and OP because they always spawn with spears. Let me see them decks. Rock and stone, yeah. Why am I building your deck again? That's not at all what I want to build. Where's my deck? I lost it. Tibbs, go get me my deck. Rock and stone, yeah. Alright, Shroom, Impetus, Rocket, Stint, Jade, Vulture, Bear, Avalanche, Rivals, Blastmancer. Where's my Blastmancer? B5. Remember, patience, discipline.
And we're off!
Swarmers would be great in the center. Do it. Now you wait. Ha! Defenso, ignore it. That's not a threat at all. Play bottom lane. Stop leaking. Help your golem out. He's getting wrecked. Right, well, the enemy has 0 mana. Oh no, Vulture died. How about top lane? You got 2 mana for that. Stop leaking! If you got too much mana, play at the back in your pocket. Good. There's an assassin bottom lane. Good rocket. Play your 0 cost card as soon as you can so that you get it again. When you're at 10 mana, play at the back. Stop leaking. Play them bridges, you got a lot of mana. Stop leaking! Why is it that every time I tell people to be patient, they just end up leaking literally all the time? The enemy's probably constantly at 0 mana, by the way. Stop leaking! Stop leaking! Phew, that was a close one. Use your totem for that rammer. Stop leaking! Stop leaking. Leaking means that you're at 10 mana and you're literally wasting mana because you're not playing anything. That was a very good impetus. Good job. Play your 0 cost card first so that you get another one sooner. Stop leaking. Curse Bearer is good against stealthed units. Good Lancers. Protect the bounty. Good. Oh well, that's just unfortunate. Use your 0 cost cards to tank. Them get closer to your face. They really poison your face. Good totem. I really want to go watch this from the POV. Careful, this doesn't hit air. Good aimbot. Hell yeah, you guys took no damage from that. That was good. Even caught the Marshal. Wasn't bad. It was mostly you guys getting used to the decks at the start here. Are you still listening to me? I want to rewatch this, by the way. Right, so that was decent. You didn't do outrageously bad plays there. There's nothing that was like had me repulsed by the sheer thought of doing that. None of this was bad. The only problem here was not being dynamic enough with the threats at play here. Wait, are you already in a match? I don't want to review this replay the same way I did the last one, but a very key element here is that the enemy was always at 0 mana, and you guys were always at 10 mana leaking your asses off. So when you gotta realize that when the enemy plays something, you can also play something in return. When you're at 10 mana, play in your back, play at the very back of your master tower.
Masters of minions and minions of masters.
Wait,
Prepare to duel.
aren't those the same people? Is this a replay?
It's hammered.
Yeah, it's a replay. Are you guys in a match? Nice Harbinger on this side with haste. Oh, they're totally gonna get this one. As long as you keep playing when the enemy plays something. Aimbot, aimbot, aimbot. Perfect. Look at them ignoring top lane. That bounty snapper is going to 10. Air Avalanche kills a buggy. Stop leaking, save your aimbot. Good, Stone Lancers there, but the enemy keeps playing, whereas you guys don't play. When you see the enemy play, that's cue for you to also play. Also play in the other lane if you're being annoyed by what's going on in the lane. Holy shit, that impetus. Man, you guys really get dragged by Boombuggy. That's weird. They played something, that means you should play something. I like that. Save your bounty sniper at all costs. Play things in front of your bounty sniper. He's your most valuable unit by far. Use your Curse Bearer to kill the Terror Brutus on the bottom lane. Oh, Golem's fine, I guess. Keep your bounty sniper alive. When you see the enemy play something, you're allowed to play something. What the fuck is going on top lane? Lisa, you need to play more. Impetus, or use your spell to kill the boom buggy. Actually, I don't think it deals damage. 160. Weird. I don't know how much health the buggy has. Isn't it? Still works well anyway. Keep playing. You have so much mana. The enemy is constantly at 0 mana. Use your mana. Use your mana, stop leaking. Or have I? Stop leaking, stop leaking. Man. The enemy is always at 0 mana. You aren't. Good whirly. Come on, Bounty Sniper, save the day. You have Mana Frenzy. Play as much as you can. Play whatever, anywhere. Play anything you want, anywhere. Just play. Stop thinking about placing units. Just place them. Perfect. Good job. Good job, Asian girl. Yeah? Don't go into a match yet, I want to see something real quick. Something that'll blow your mind.
And we're off!
Maybe you guys have too many 2-cost cards for your own good.
Showtime!
Alright, this is the enemy's side. Watch their mana. Watch how their mana is literally always at 0. While yours is literally always at 10 or even 12. The enemy was struggling, and you guys weren't even using your full mana there to obliterate him. The enemy is just horribly struggling against you, meanwhile you have more mana than you know what to do with. So really feel more comfortable with sending just units in the back if you want to, or stack a couple of units together, see what happens. If it doesn't work, then just don't do it again. That's how you learn. By the way, defending the Bounty Sniper is what really helped you win there. Bounty Sniper got you a ton of XP. Well, like, feel free to change things, like you can drop a 2-cost card to get a defensive chopper if you feel more safe with one. play more. I want to watch more. It's so interesting. These might be bots. Don't know though.
Showtime!
Oh yeah, you guys should stop click and dragging. Play in the other lane. Oh my god, excellent, good job. Play your ranged support like that in the other lane. Save your bounty. Oh my god, save it. That won't be enough. Save your bounty, sniper. You cannot let your bounty sniper die like that. Stop leaking. Good swarmer split. Stop leaking. Stop leaking. Stop leaking. Good. Use Jolo to kill elves. Good, perfect. Jolo wrecks now. Nice split on the Stun Lancers. Montem, you really gotta use your burn the bridge more. Thank god that Scrat was there. Totem doesn't work against Fanriel. Fanriel deals true damage, which pierces protection. You should use the Totem as a wall. Good answer. Save your bounty, sniper. Good. Your bounty sniper is a threat. Keep him alive. Stop leaking. Very good burn there. Assist your golem. Good. Keep the bounty sniper alive. You can use impetus to kill the monitor gnats. Nice little skewer there. Oh my god, the bear avalanche kill, what a disrespect. I'm just chilling here.
Good choice. Let's go crack some skulls.
Golem would be good against that. Be patient, let them reach closer to your face, so that your master tower can attack. Don't use spells defensively. Man, Veilstalker is fucking everywhere because nobody knows how to deal with it. That's successful, John. Keep the bounty snapper alive, that's your only job. Bounty sniper, no! Yeah, Golem. Okay, yeah, that's something I need to point out. Yeah, I guess that's the issue. Amy just putting 4 to 6 cost cards, but people don't know yet how to handle them, so they just get wrecked over and over again without any way to fight that. That's the big problem with the early game in this game. People learn that just fat units everywhere, thrown at anywhere just works. Like cool, Harbinger, Rock Rival, Zapinators. Of course new players have no idea how to handle these. There we go, good aimbot. Why did they reload? Look at the kind of shit people play. That Fergus was awful. Use your shield. I'm gonna tell Feralusa to not bother with the shield and only use it as a wall. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see how it is. It's just like, here's a grenadier that thinks he's gonna get wrecked. Montem, when you are placing your blue golem at the back, away from units. Oh yeah, that's something. You're just making it worse for the blue golem by placing it further away. I see something very often here. You guys don't extend the full potential of your placement.
Round of Minion Masters. It's on.
You feel constricted. You feel claustrophobic. But no, you must expand your mind and your ability. You have access to your entire arena. There was something I drew very recently to someone. Let me see. Never mind. It's not really applicable here. Ready for an amazing drawing? After this, I think I will leave you guys alone. Alright, observe. This is how I suggest that you handle most threats. Look at the top lane. The enemy is in red, your placement are in green. Let the enemy hit your face and then place your units behind those on the bridge so that they can kill the enemy units. Or alternatively, from the bottom lane, fight the enemy when they're on the bridge there, using your units at the bridge. I'll do something that you should not do. Here is something you should not do. When the enemy is approaching from the bridges like this, you should not place your units just a bit away so that the enemy has enough time to shoot your units while your units are moving and your master tower is too far away to attack. Also, here's the last one. When you're reaching very high mana, when you're at high mana, let the enemy hit your face and place your units in the green circle in the pocket there. This way the enemy will not target your unit as your unit is walking forward. Okay, that's it. Thanks for letting me rant for 2 hours. Hope you guys had fun. And goodbye.